Okay, girls, here we have the story of the Lady and the Tramp. And the Lady and the Tramp are two dogs. This is Lady and this is Tramp. And we'll learn about these dogs in our story. This is a Walt Disney story. This was a movie, actually, that I saw maybe 50 years ago before your mama was even born. This is an old story. See, and it's a Disney story. You saw this, all these characters yesterday. The Lady and the Tramp. One Christmas Eve, many, many years ago, the streets and houses were covered with freshly fallen snow, and lights burned brightly in every window. The air tingled with excitement. Soon it would be time to open the presents. I bet it's hard for you to imagine snow from where you are right now, but you remember snow. I'm sure even Lucy probably remembers snow. At last, the clock struck midnight. At Jim Dear and Darling's home, many colorful boxes lay under the Christmas tree. "Here, open this one first," said Jim Dear, handing Darling a large box. You see, the names of the man and the woman who live there is Jim Dear. His name is actually Jim, but his wife calls him Jim Dear. And the wife's name is Darling. So they are Jim Dear and Darling. So Jim Dear hands Darling a large box. "What is it?" asked Darling. "Open it and you'll see," said Jim Dear, smiling. Darling had barely undone the ribbon when out jumped a Cocker Spaniel puppy. "Oh, he is so cute," cried Darling. "It's a she, and her name is Lady," corrected Jim Dear. So there's the little puppy named Lady, and it's a Christmas present for Darling. Lady soon became the queen of the household. She was pampered and petted by everyone, and in return, she looked after the couple, fetching Jim Dear's newspaper and slippers and guarding the house at night. For her birthday, she received a beautiful blue collar. "Look how pretty you are," said Darling. "Wait till the others see me," thought Lady. She's got this blue collar. So she lives in this, you can tell this is kind of a rich people's house. And so she's very pampered, and she's got her beautiful blue collar, and she's a purebred. Jock, the Scottish Terrier, that would be a Scottish Terrier. These are types of dogs. So she's a Cocker Spaniel, and this is Jock the Terrier. And Trusty, the Bloodhound, that's a different type of dog, were her neighbors. They were purebred dogs too, and very distinguished. Trusty had once been a brilliant tracker, but he had grown old and his nose wasn't what it used to be. "What a beautiful collar," they exclaimed. "You've grown into a lovely little lady." Oh, they're flattering her. She's such a beautiful, pretty little dog. But although Lady enjoyed her pampered life, one day, hang on a second, taking a sip of coffee here. See, there's my coffee. I'm drinking coffee. One day, she noticed that things slowly begun to change. No one seemed to pay much attention to her anymore. She didn't understand what was happening. "What have I done wrong?" she asked herself. This afternoon, Jim Dear rushed by without even giving me a pat on the head, and Darling spends all her time knitting. She hasn't taken me for a walk in ages. And what's all this talk about a happy event? So things are changing. "A happy event, Pigeon, is the worst thing that could happen to you." Lady looked around in alarm. "Who is that dog?" she thought indignantly. "Look at that scruffy animal." Right there. He is not even wearing a collar. How dare he talk to me?" "It's a cinch," said the stranger, whose name was Tramp. "Your mistress is going to have a baby. Some brat will soon be pulling on your tail. Listen to me, Pidge. He's not using her real name. He's calling her Pigeon or Pidge. Leave that fancy collar behind. So long and good luck, he added with a wink. So he's saying, your mistress is going to have a baby and things are going to change and you're no longer going to be the precious little one of the house. There'll be a baby that's going to take over as the precious little thing in the house. Tramp, the mongrel. Mongrel means he's not a purebred. That means he's a mixture of different breeds of dog. Tramp, the mongrel, was right. Within a few months, the house was buzzing with activity. People came and went, bringing presents and making funny noises over a crib. Lady was allowed to see the baby. He's not so awful, she thought. In fact, he's rather cute. Perhaps we'll be friends. As the baby. Perhaps we'll be friends. Ooh, look at those. What do you think those are? Those are scary, mean cats. Let's see how they get into the story. Soon, everything was back to normal, but not for long. One day, a fierce-looking woman with a suitcase came to the door. Lady, this is Aunt Sarah, said Darling, and she's going to look after the baby while Jim Deer and I take a little vacation. With Aunt Sarah came 2 Siamese cats who took over the house in no time. Cy and Am, so those are the names of the cats, Cy and Am. Cy and Am were their names, and they were crafty and bold. We are Siamese, if you please. Siamese is a breed of a cat. We are Siamese, if you please. We are Siamese, if you don't please, they hissed. Where we come from, cats are king. The cats sneered at poor lady. So the cats they're just going to come into the house and take over. They're sneering at poor lady. They soon spread havoc throughout the house. First, they knocked over the goldfish bowl. They were after Goldie the goldfish, but Lady managed to protect him. While Lady was standing guard over Goldie, the 2 cats started to climb up towards Fifi, the canary. Cy grabbed the cage and shook it, while Am tried to claw the frightened bird. Stop that, barked Lady. Oh, this is bad. Crash, bang, the cage fell, knocking down a painting. Aunt Sarah came rushing into the room. What is this? She demanded, pointing at the mess. Cy and Am purred sweetly, pretending all innocence. Aunt Sarah glared at Lady. You naughty dog, you'll be punished for this. She threatened as she carried off the 2 cats. My poor babies, she cooed into their ears. You mustn't play with the wicked dog. Another cup of coffee, sip of my coffee here. You mustn't play with the wicked dog. This is Aunt Sarah. We don't see her face, but she's mean. We're told she's fierce looking, so she's kind of mean looking. Aunt Sarah returned with a man who was carrying a strange-looking contraption. Aunt Sarah grabbed Lady and held her tightly while the man put the leather contraption over her face. Lady couldn't believe it. What are they doing to me, she thought. Oh, I wish that Jim Deer and Darling were here. She wriggled her way out of Aunt Sarah's arms and fled the house. See, this is a muzzle. It's called a muzzle. You put that, if you have a dog that bites people, you put the muzzle over their mouth so they can't bite. So that's what they did to poor Lady. There she is with her muzzle on. She's running away. The muzzle is still on her. Poor Lady was so frightened that she ran without watching where she was going. She rushed in between passing cars and along crowded streets. She wanted to get as far away from Aunt Sarah as possible. A gang of stray dogs, seeing her dash by, started to chase after her. Wearing a muzzle, she was easy game for them. When she heard the dogs behind her, Lady ran even faster. See, there they are. There's Lady. She's running. There are the dogs chasing Lady. Oh, they're mean, stray dogs. Tramp, who was nearby, also heard the dogs and turned just in time to see what was happening. Poor little thing, I better go and help her, he thought to himself as he took off after the dogs. See, Tramp is an outdoor dog. He's kind of rough and tumble. He doesn't live in a rich people's home like Lady. See, Lady is a rich dog. When Tramp caught up with the dogs, he saw that Lady was cornered by two of the snarling animals. Aren't you guys ashamed of yourselves? Picking on a defenseless creature, growled Tramp, leaping to Lady's rescue. Scram, you two, before I make hamburger meat out of you. It's Tramp, yapped one of the bullies. Let's get out of here. They slunk off with their tails between their legs. So Tramp scared the mean dogs away. Hi there, Pigeon. Tramp at your service, king of the mutts and prince of the mongrels, always ready for a scuffle. Tramp peered at Lady. Hey, haven't I seen you before? He asked, pricking up his ears. Poor Lady couldn't speak, not with the muzzle over her face. I've got it, shouted Tramp. You're the one whose mistress was having a baby. What are you doing so far from home, and who put that muzzle on you? Tramp realized that Lady could not answer him because her jaws were held together by the muzzle. Follow me, Pidge. We'll have that thing off of you in a jiffy. Tramp led her to the view. What is that? That's a big alligator or a crocodile. They stopped at the crocodile's cage. This should do it. Just stick your nose between these bars, suggested Tramp. I don't know. Do you think that's a good idea? We'll see. But Lady didn't like the gleam in the crocodile's eyes. He looked more hungry than helpful. She's not so sure about this idea. I wonder what's going to happen now. I don't have any ideas. Is she going to trust Tramp and stick her face in there and let the crocodile either bite her head off or bite the muzzle off? I don't know. We're going to find out on the next page, I'll bet. Let's see what it says. Nope, they try something else. When Tramp saw Lady back away in fear, he decided to look for another solution. They came across Busy Beaver, who was hard at work. Busy Beaver. Hi there, Busy. How about you giving us a hand, or should I say a tooth, chuckled Tramp. Busy waddled up to Lady and looked her over. Let me see. This should be no problem. A few gnaws here and there, and we'll have that muzzle off in no time. So the beaver's got these sharp teeth. He's used to cutting down trees with his teeth. He's going to cut the leather off. Let's see if this works. Yes, look at that. Busy knew his job well. His sharp teeth gnawed furiously at the muzzle, and with a loud snap, it came off. Oh, Mr. Beaver, said Lady, I don't know how I can ever thank you. She wagged her tail in gratitude. Think nothing of it. It is my pleasure, replied the Busy Beaver with a gracious bow. And now, I bet you're hungry, Pidge. Come on, I'll treat you to dinner. I hope you like Italian food, said Tramp as he guided Lady to the back of a little Italian restaurant. Tramp, what a good surprise, beamed Tony the chef. And who is your bella fidanzata? What is a bella fidanzata, thought Lady. That means pretty girl? I don't know. We'll see. See, that's somebody who works in a restaurant, and he is in the habit of feeding Tramp. Tramp goes to the back of the restaurant, and he's made friends with the guy that works in the restaurant, and he gets food there. So now he's going to share his food with Lady. Tony was a real romantic. Soon he had the two dogs eating a delicious spaghetti dinner by candlelight, and while they ate, he played his accordion and sang love songs. This was all very new to Lady. She was enjoying herself and told Tramp about the baby, the Siamese cats, and Aunt Sarah. They're having a romantic spaghetti dinner. After dinner, Tramp took Lady for a stroll in the park. There was a full moon. He's really not too bad, thought Lady. He's not a purebred like me, but there's something special about him. The two dogs fell asleep under the stars. Each dreamed of the other. It's love. It's a love story between these two very different dogs. One is a rich dog and the other is a poor dog. Lady woke with a start. The sun had risen. It was late. I must go home now, she said. Everyone will be wondering where I am. What's wrong, Pidge? Asked Tramp. Don't you like the outdoor life? Yes, but my masters. No masters, no kennels, no chains. That's my motto, interrupted Tramp, running beside her. See, Tramp is an outdoor dog. He likes the freedom of just being able to run around outdoors and not have a master. But Lady's not used to that. Lady's used to living in a house and have people feed her. So let's see what happens. Tramp stopped suddenly. Do you hear what I hear? Chickens. And chickens means eggs. And eggs means breakfast. So Tramp's going to go steal some eggs. Before Lady could stop him, Tramp dived into the midst of the clucking hens. Stop! Don't do that, cried Lady. Someone will catch you. But Tramp was having too much fun. Yeah, Tramp's an outdoor dog. He just does what wild animals do. Chase the chickens and find the eggs. Ping, ping, bullets flew around them. Run for it, Pidge. Someone is shooting at us, yelled Tramp. I knew he'd get caught, thought Lady, and look at him laughing. He just thinks it's a joke. Tramp ran on ahead and disappeared around the corner. Wait for me, Tramp, begged Lady. Wait for me, wait for me. Tramp was too far ahead to hear Lady's cries. When Lady stopped to catch her breath, a truck screeched to a halt. Two men jumped out and grabbed her. This is the thief, said one of them, caught red-handed. Look, there are feathers in her furs. Oh, so the dog catcher caught her. They think that she was the one stealing the eggs, but she was just there. She wasn't doing it, but she's going to be guilty because she was there with Tramp. Before she knew what had happened, Lady found herself behind bars at the city dog pound. Never had she seen so many scruffy-looking dogs. Tears welled up in her eyes. So this is the dog pound, also called the Animal Rescue Center, where they take stray dogs. Because in most places it's not legal for dogs to run around on the street. It's probably true in Rwanda also. Oh dear, what did I get myself into, she cried as the door slammed behind her. This ain't no deluxe hotel, that's for sure, said Pedro the Chihuahua. Is that the Chihuahua? Maybe that's Pedro. Where have you been all my life, honey? Teased the bulldog. Look at that collar. Those gems aren't fake. This dog's got money, said Boris, the scrawny wolfhound. What did you do? Give the maid fleas? Joked the others. So the other's joking with her because she's obviously a rich dog and they're all poor dogs. They're joking with her about how did you wind up in here with us poor dogs? Come on now, fellas, leave my girl alone. Can't you see the kid's got class? Said a sassy-looking female. My name is Peg, she said to the lady. What's yours? This must be Peg. Lady introduced herself. This Peg may not be a shrinking violet, she thought, but she is certainly very kind. Don't worry, honey, said Peg, winking. Take it from someone who knows. A girl with your style won't stay here long. Peg knew what she was talking about. Within half an hour, Lady was fetched by one of the guards and escorted home. So long, Duchess, cried the dogs. Don't forget us. Pound chains or house chains are all the same. Down with chains. Down with chains. So now they know who she is because she's got this collar and she's got a dog tag. So that's how you can identify a dog. The information is on the dog tag. So now they're taking her home. And speaking of chains, that's exactly what was waiting for Lady when she returned home. Aunt Sarah attached her to a doghouse with a short chain. She could barely move. Jock and Trusty came to visit her. She felt sorry for their little friend. Lady was so ashamed she could barely speak. She's now a prisoner. Aunt Sarah put her on this chain, and now she can't go very far. Lady was sitting in the doghouse when she heard a familiar voice say, "Hi there, Pigeon, what's new?" It was Tramp, acting as if nothing had happened. Forgetting that she was chained, Lady ran up to him and nearly choked herself. "Ah, so now you come," she said angrily. "Have you no shame? How dare you come here after all that you've done? Look at me. This is all your fault." The fur on her back rose with anger. But Pidge," began Tramp. "And don't call me Pidge anymore," she snarled. But let me explain," stammered Tramp. "There is nothing to explain. Go away. I don't ever want to see you again." And with that, Lady turned her back on him. Oh, she's so mad that Tramp got her into this trouble and then ran off and left her. She's very upset. "What's with her?" wondered Tramp as he slouched away with his tail between his legs. "She thinks I am a good-for-nothing. How can I show her that I am not so bad? She will never believe that I love her now." What's Tramp going to do to make it up to her so that she'll love him again? That night, as Lady lay crying in the doghouse, a large rat crouched nearby watching her. He was waiting for her to go to sleep so that he could slip into the warm house. The rat wants to get into the doghouse. But Lady was too upset to sleep. She was feeling sad and lonely. She wished that Jim Dear and Darling would come back. The rat was growing impatient. He decided to take a chance and quietly sneaked toward the house. I wonder if it's the doghouse or the main house. Maybe it's the main house. The rat's trying to sneak in the house. Yeah, there we go. The rat climbed up a tree next to the house and jumped onto the roof. Lady saw him just as he was slipping through the window into the baby's room. "Oh no, a rat's getting into the baby's room." "Woof, woof," she barked, running toward the house. She'd forgotten about the chain again and almost strangled herself once more. So she's trying to protect the baby. There's a rat going into the baby's room. Oh, this is very dramatic. There she is, woof woofing. Tramp, who had been sulking nearby, came running. "A rat!" cried Lady. "A big rat just went up into the baby's room." "Don't worry, Pigeon, I'll get him for you," shouted Tramp as he climbed into the house through a downstairs window. So Tramp is going to try to do her a favor by getting the rat. Aunt Sarah had been awakened by Lady's barking. "What is that little pest up to now? If she keeps barking like that, she's going to wake the baby up." Aunt Sarah was furious. "I'm going to teach her a lesson." "Woof, woof," Lady continued to bark in alarm. "Just wait till I get hold of you," said Aunt Sarah, putting on her robe. Tramp finally reached the baby's room, and not a minute too soon, the rat was climbing up onto the baby's crib. Tramp jumped on top of him, growling ferociously. Startled, the rat lost his balance and fell to the floor. Tramp landed next to him, and the two began to fight. A dog and a rat fighting. You want to be between them. Fur flew and teeth flashed, and the two rolled around on the floor, but the rat was no match for the angry Tramp. Meanwhile, Lady had broken off her chain. Oh, she broke her chain and ran into the room. The rat lay dead. Tramp had won the fight. Lady looked at Tramp, who was licking his wounds. He was a bit scratched, but that was all. The noise had awakened the baby, who began to cry. "Wah, wah," screamed the baby at the top of his lungs. Lady was thanking Tramp when Aunt Sarah stormed into the room. She was purple with rage and carrying a broom. She didn't notice the dead rat. She only had eyes for the two dogs. "Out of here, you two, down to the cellar. It's a dog pound for you, and this time it will be forever." Aunt Sarah, she's so mean. A swish of the broom, and the two unlucky dogs found themselves downstairs. The cellar door opened, and then they were thrust into the dark. Suddenly, Lady heard familiar voices above. "It's Jim, dear, and Darling. They've come home," she told Tramp. Within a few minutes, the cellar door opened. "Lady, here, Lady, come on, girl," called Jim Dear. Lady told Tramp to stay put and ran up the stairs into her master's arms. At the same time, two men from the dog pound arrived at the house. Aunt Sarah told them about Tramp, and they went into the cellar and grabbed him. Tramp was rushed into the waiting van. Trusty and Jock saw him as he was driven away. "We must help the old fellow," said Jock. "He may not be a purebred dog, but he's a good one." See, Trusty and Jock, they see Tramp being carried away, and they're going to try to figure out how to rescue him. "Well, Lady, what's all this I hear about your misbehaving?" asked Jim Dear sternly. Lady knew that she couldn't explain what had happened. She had to show them the dead rat. They will understand if they see it, she thought. She ran toward the stairs, hoping that they would follow her. Okay, so she's trying to show them the dead rat, because they came home and Aunt Sarah said that Lady had been bad, so they think Lady has been bad. So let's see if she can straighten this out by showing them the dead rat. They did, and Lady led them straight to the dead rat, half hidden under a chair. Aunt Sarah nearly fainted. "Oh, dear, and I thought they were after the baby. It was a rat. Oh, no, and they already took away that other dog to the pound." So now even Aunt Sarah realized that the dogs had saved the baby from the vicious rat that was going to attack the baby. So now they're going to try to go to the pound to get Tramp back. "Come with me, Lady," shouted Jim Dear. "We'll find your friend. He saved our baby's life. It's the very least we can do," he said, as they left the house to find a cab. In the cab, Lady began to worry that they might be too late. "Faster, please hurry," she barked to the driver as she thought. He is no saint. He is not really handsome either, but I love him all the same." Oh, romance, romance. In the meantime, Trusty and Jock had followed the dog pound carriage with the help of Trusty's nose. "I am not so old after all," said Trusty, and he was very proud. See, one of these dogs is a bloodhound, and he's following based on this scent. So he just to know where they're going, where they're taking Tramp. "I'll head him off," he told Jock as he ran in front of the horse. The horse was frightened and reared up, knocking over the carriage. Okay, so a dog ran in front of the horse. It was pulling the carriage, and it caused the carriage to fall over, and maybe Tramp is going to escape now. Let's see. Lady and Jim Dear finally caught up with the dog pound carriage. Jim Dear talked to the driver, and Lady ran around to the back. "Oh, Tramp, are you hurt?" she asked him. "Hi there, Pidge. I am just fine," answered Tramp. Nothing could harm that old scoundrel. even though the carriage got knocked over. Tell me something, Tramp, said Lady several weeks later. What does bella fidanzata mean? That's what the Italian chef at the restaurant called her. Is this your bella fidanzata? So she says, what does that mean, bella fidanzata? Fidanzata. Tramp looked at Lady and grinned. You've got a good memory, Pidge. It means a beautiful fiancé. And you are, aren't you? A beautiful fiancé. That's what the Italian waiter called Lady, a beautiful fiancé. And so Lady and Tramp became engaged, and they were soon married. Trusty, his leg in a bandage, but otherwise fine, and Jock, wearing his new plaid jacket, congratulated the happy couple. If it hadn't been for you, Trusty, I'd be dead. Thank you, said Tramp. It was nothing, old man, all in a day's work, replied the proud Trusty. Christmas Eve came again, and this time there were 4 puppies under the tree. Okay, the next Christmas there were 4 puppies. You know why? Because Tramp and Lady had some puppies, and now there are 4 under the tree. The end. There they are. They're the 4 puppies, and there are 3 that look like Lady and 1 that looks like Tramp. That's interesting. They look. Sometimes you get puppies that look a little bit like mom and a little bit like dad, but in this case, 3 look like mom and only 1 looked like dad. That's the end of the story. Well, that was a fun story. I enjoyed reading that to you as always, and look forward to the next one. Bye-bye.